Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Sauce. We murdered it. We had a great Wednesday. The ticket went 6-4, and I know 6-4 doesn't sound crazy, but with the amount of plus money cashes we had was plus 2.12 units. Absolute excellent Wednesday. Let's keep that positive momentum rolling into Thursday. Now, it's only 7 games. Thursday, not the best MLB betting day, as we all know, but I think we can find some value here. So let's dive in.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
Milwaukee at Toronto again. We got Freddie Peralta pitching against Kevin Gausman. Blue Jays open up as heavy favorites here, minus 225. Total opens up down at 8. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 6-1 Blue Jays after 5 innings. Final score, 8-1 Blue Jays. I simply cannot back Kevin Gausman as a huge favorite at home. Check this out. PropBeaver found this trend. So Kevin Gausman was priced as a minus 200 favorite in his last home start versus Baltimore. Toronto lost 8-3. Before that, home start against the Yankees, minus 175. They lost 6-3. Before that, minus 265 home against the Mariners. The Jays won, but they won 4-3. I think they won by 1 run. Before that, minus 295 against the Tigers. They won 4-3 in extra innings. The point being, the trend here is Kevin Gausman as a home favorite. Opponents are dominating, covering the plus 1.5 run line. They're 4-0 to the run line this year. If you bring it back to last season, they're 17-2. Covering the plus 1.5 against Kevin Gausman as a home favorite. I know Milwaukee's bats are trash. Trust me, I know this. They did just cash for us last night, though, plus 140 or plus 145, whatever that was. And I know Freddie Peralta looked terrible in his last start. He got absolutely rocked. But I can't pass up on this trend. I'm going to take a shot with it. So it's going to be Milwaukee plus 1.5 at minus 120. Next game, Padres at Marlins. Joe Musgrove pitching against Jesus Luzardo. Padres open up as very slight favorites here, minus 115. Total opens up at 7.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 4-3 San Diego after 5 innings. Final score 5-4 San Diego. So Joe Musgrove has definitely been inconsistent to start this season, but I gotta say, can this dude get a break? I mean, check this out. He's made 6 starts this season. Do you want to hear his opponents? At Arizona, then the Giants, who've hit right-handed pitching well all season, the Dodgers twice in a row, Boston, who was on a murdering spree against right-handed pitching at the time, and his last start was at Yankee Stadium. That's kind of insane. I think it's safe to say that this start against the Marlins is his real first opportunity to really dig in and put out a dominant performance. Keep in mind, this Miami lineup has struggled to hit right-handed pitching this entire season. The last 9 right-handed starters to face the Marlins, 2.87 ERA through 47 innings pitched. Now, something that might worry you, if you look at the numbers, the Marlins have actually hit Musgrove in the past. Miami's lineup lifetime is batting .333 against Joe Musgrove. But check this out. They're 24 of 72 off him. Want to know how many extra base hits they've had out of those 24 hits? 0. 24 singles. So yeah, Miami's hitting .333 lifetime off Musgrove, but through his 5 starts against the Marlins, he's 3-1 with a 2.64 ERA. So go ahead, keep knocking the singles. He's also got a 30-4 strikeout to walk ratio too. I think he can have. I think Musgrove is going to pitch well. On the other side, we got Jesus Luzardo, and he's been absolutely excellent in 3 of his last 4 starts, holding his opponent to 1 run or less in 3 of his last 4. He's now got a real juicy matchup against a Padres team that he just has an unbelievable history against. Through 36 career at-bats, the Padres lineup is hitting just 194 off Luzardo with a 4.87 OPS. The last 5 lefty starters to face the Padres combined for 30 1/3 innings pitched, 2.96 ERA and a 1.12 whip. If you look at their OPS, okay, the Padres have hit lefties with some power recently, but they just can't seem to get base runners out there. And we're talking about Jesus Luzardo, who, like I just said earlier, is allowing just a 4.87 OPS against this Padres lineup lifetime. So yeah, the Padres lineup may be hitting with power off lefties recently, but they haven't hit with power off Luzardo. I think he deals also. So yeah, I think this is a great spot for both starting pitchers. I'm actually considering doubling up on the under here. First 5 under 4.5 at minus 120 and the full game under 8 at plus 100. I haven't placed those bets yet. I'll make a final decision on the live show at 11 a.m., but definitely on an under for sure. Next game. Phillies at Mets. Taijuan Walker against Max Scherzer. Mets open up as pretty solid favorites here, minus 165. Total opens up at 8.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 5-1 Mets after 5 innings. Final score 7-3 Mets. So we got Taijuan Walker in a revenge start. It's his first time pitching against the Mets since he signed with the Phillies. I guess the question is, do we think he's in a good spot to succeed here? And my answer is most definitely no. Not only has Taijuan Walker struggled on the road dating back multiple seasons, but he's facing a Mets lineup that's got 5 lefties out of the first 6 members of their lineup. So 5 of the first 6 batters in the Mets lineup are lefties. Against lefties on the road so far this year, check this out. Taijuan Walker is posting a terrible .399 WOBA, 1.98 home runs per 9, and a 1.83 whip. With the Mets bats heating up against right-handed pitching, and you got a righty in the mound in Taijuan Walker who not only struggles on the road, but also struggles to get lefties out on the road, I think it's safe to say that this is a nightmare spot for Walker. And on the other side, we got Max Scherzer, who's basically been dominant recently. Over his last 6 starts, Scherzer's got a 2.45 ERA, 2.61 WOBA, and just a 1.02 whip. If you just take out the Tiger start, where there were 10 days in between his start, it's safe to say that that would throw a lot of starters up. He had that stupid suspension. If you take that start out, he's been basically unstoppable for his last 5 starts. Also, both his starts at home have been dominant. 11 innings, allowing 0 runs, 4 hits, and 4 walks. So it's been absolutely great in Citi Field. The Phillies bats have 180 career at-bats against Scherzer. They're hitting just 194 with a 601 OPS. So Phillies definitely haven't had success against this guy. And on the fact that they've been slumping against right-handed pitching. I was just talking about it yesterday. They're 23rd in WRC plus versus righties over the last month, 26th over the last 2 weeks. I think it's safe to say Scherzer might throw a gem. So I know I definitely like the Mets here. I'm not 100% sure how I want to bet it. Maybe Mets first 5 run line. I think that's sitting at around -120. Maybe a Mets team total over. Just fade Taijuan Walker. I'm not sure. I want to see what the lines do in the morning first. So definitely on the Mets. I'll let you know what the final decision is on the live show at 11 a.m. next game. Rockies at D-backs. Chase Anderson pitching against Zach Davies. Arizona opens up as a pretty heavy favorite here, -175. Total opens up at 9. So Chase Anderson has actually pitched really well this year. I mean, these numbers look great. A 1.31 ERA and a 0.97 whip through 5 appearances. I mean, how can you argue with that? Those are elite-looking numbers. Now, 2 of his appearances were actually out of the bullpen. 3 of them were starts. But check this out. 18 of his 20 2/3 innings pitched on the season came at Coors Field, which makes his numbers even more impressive, as we all know how crazy it is to try to pitch there. Add in the fact that Chase Anderson also has some nice looking numbers at left-handed bats. At first glance, you might be thinking, hey, maybe Chase Anderson could pitch against this Arizona team. But I'm not completely sure of that. First of all, he's got an expected FIP of 5.11. Which indicates that he's going to come back down to earth eventually. And the last 5 right-handed starters to pitch against Arizona, 6.80 ERA and a 3.0 home runs per 9 innings. D-backs have been eating on right-handed starters recently. On the other side, it's Zach Davies. A couple years back, he was a fade machine for me when he was with the Cubs. Kind of tough to get a read on him right now. I mean, he's got just 12 2/3 innings of work on the season. He definitely didn't look great in his return from injury, and that was against a Boston lineup that was dead. Now he faced a Rockies lineup that's hitting very well. A kind of weird stat here. He actually dominated them in 2 home starts in 2022. 11 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 0 runs and just 7 hits. So he was great against the Rockies bats last year. The thing is, this Colorado Rockies lineup is way different. Considering in the last 14 days, the Rockies are first in OPS versus right-handed pitching. Last season, they were bottom 5 against right-handed pitching. This is an entirely different Rockies lineup. I think they smack Davies around, honestly. As far as a bet, I really don't love this game. I've been passing on this series every single day. I definitely won't back Arizona. I'd say maybe Rockies, but probably my favorite bet would be an over. Might end up taking an over. We'll see. I'll let you know on the live show at 11 a.m. next game. Cincinnati at Boston. Should we just stop it and take the Reds? I mean, come on. They continue to pay us out. We got Hunter Green pitching against a red-hot Chris Sale in this one. Boston opens up as -165 favorites. Total opens up at 8.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 5-2 Red Sox after 5 innings. Final score 6-3 Red Sox. Look, I know Hunter Green can definitely be inconsistent at times, but he's coming off a monster start against the Cubs. 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts against the Cubs. Definitely comes into this start with some confidence. Also, he gets the pitch against a Boston lineup that's just gone ice cold, especially against right-handed pitching. In the last 2 weeks, they sit 28th in WRC plus versus righties. During that span, they're also ninth. They also had the ninth highest strikeout rate in baseball. So Hunter Green, we know he's the type of guy that can get swings and misses. This could be a nice spot for him. On the other side, we got a tough matchup to read, partially because Chris Sale has been excellent. In his last 5 starts, he's got a 2.23 ERA, just a 2.32 WOBA. Boston's 4-1 in those 5 starts, and that's even with a struggling lineup. So Chris Sale, he is dominant recently, but now he has to face a Reds team that's just crushing left-handed pitching. I mean, that's even on the road, too. In the last 30 days, they're 7th in WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. Over the last 2 weeks, they've climbed up to 4th. This Reds lineup is smacking lefties. So kind of tough to make a case either way there. Something's got to give. Either the Reds lineup has to give or Chris Sale's dominance has to give. Either way, you already know what I'm doing here. I'm taking the Reds. You got one team that's 7-2 in their last 9, and the other team's 2-7 in their last 9, and they're giving it to us at plus money. Not overthinking it. I'm sure the Reds will come back down to earth eventually, but I'm going to keep riding this plus money train until it crashes. Give me Cincinnati money line at plus 140 next game. Cleveland at Minnesota. Tanner Bybee pitching against Pablo Lopez. Twins open up as slight favorites here, minus 120. Total opens up at 8. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're heavy lean on the under here. We're looking at 2-1 Twins after 5 innings. Final score, 2-1 Twins. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Cleveland offense is here. I never thought I'd be talking about the Cleveland Guardians offense in a positive light. But, I mean, they've won 3 of their last 4, and more importantly, they're scoring runs. In the last 4 games, they scored 4, 5, 5, and 12 runs, averaging 6.5 runs per game. For reference, in case you haven't been following, in the previous 24 games, the Guardians had scored 5 runs just twice, averaging 2.8 runs a game. That was over a 24-game stretch. Now they're averaging 6.5 in the last 4. If you're a Cleveland fan, you definitely love to see it. And the thing is, if those bats are hit, if they're producing offensively, there's really no reason to fade this team because the pitching's been there all season. Tanner Bybee has been excellent through his first 6 major league starts. Oh my God. 2.88 ERA with just a .52 home runs per 9 inning and a 108 whip. This kid is legitimate, and now he faces a Twins lineup that's got to be the most difficult lineup to read in baseball right now. This is the most inconsistent shit I've ever seen. I mean, just look at the last 5 Twins games. Kevin Gausman, 5 innings, 1 run baseball. All right, Gausman got him. Then Chris Bassett allows 7 runs through 4 innings. After that, Jose Barrios blanks him on the road. What? Then JP France lets up 4 runs through 6 innings. Okay, they got to France. After that, Belak throws 5 and 2/3 innings, allowed just 1 run. I mean, this is such an all or nothing lineup. They either score 9 runs or they get shut out, making it insanely difficult to try to predict what's going to happen here. Pitching for Minnesota is Pablo Lopez, and I'm beginning to think that he sucks. I mean, I know that he started off the season hot, but look at his last 4 home starts. He faced the Nationals, the Blue Jays, the Royals, and the Padres. All 4 of those teams were ice cold heading into Minnesota. Despite that, Pablo Lopez in those 4 home starts, 6.55 ERA and a 3.85 WOBA, 1.150 whip. Really struggling in spots where he's supposed to dominate. Look, straight up, I don't know if I trust Tanner Bybee in this spot because we know how explosive the Twins lineup can be, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm backing Cleveland because of the offense. Wow, that's crazy. I really think they smack Pablo Lopez around in this one. Guardians bullpen is a bit gassed after yesterday's crazy game against the Orioles, so I'm going to stick to the early innings. Give me Cleveland first 5 money line at plus 120 next game. Next game's actually Angels Astros, and as I'm recording this, there's still no line open for this one, so I got nothing. I'm sure we'll have a pick for it on the live show tomorrow at 11 a.m. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets we do, which has every single bet we're making and how much we're placing on each bet, parlay of the day, which hit today, I forgot to mention that, head over to KyleKirms.com.